Hello and welcome to our channel. I'm Hack and today we are going to solve a machine called Busqueda from HackTheBox. This is part of a TJ Null's playlist for OSCP preparation. That is, it's the very first machine called Busqueda. It's an easy Linux machine. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? So up here we have our nmap command. Let me cat it out. Cat nmap. And we can see there are two open ports, which is port 22 and SSH. So we will explore port 22, port 80. The reason to explore port 80 is that we don't have SSH password for this specific machine. We don't know the username or the password. But we do have the port 80 up here. So whenever we will go and visit the port 80 using the IP address, we will get redirected to this specific vhost, and we can add that vhost in our sudo nano host file. We can add it here like this, like searcher.htb. Next, like while exploring, this is simply a web app which has multiple search engines, and let's say like if I select a search engine like AccuWeather and search Berlin, it will basically create a link, and yeah, that's it. Then if we scroll down, we will see it's using some kind of an application or a package called searcher 2.40, and this specific package is vulnerable to an attack. Basically it's using some kind of an eval statement or a code block and taking user input without sanitizing it, or and basically it's not handling the user input in a safe way and passing it directly to the eval function, which would result into an RCE. So let me just show you the code block real quick. So this is the code block which is affected by this specific vulnerability. We can see eval up here, and this is our query which is being directly injected. We can obviously exploit it and get our command to run on the web server, and which will eventually lead to a reverse shell. This is going to be our exploit.sh script. Over here, if we read the script, we will see this is our default port where we will get our initial reverse shell. This is the payload for our reverse shell. Basically it will generate a payload with our IP and port address. This is the actual payload which is going to cause the command injection basically. And yeah, so we can run exploit.sh. Let me just close this. We can run exploit.sh, put the target IP address up here, and put your own attacker IP and attacker port name. Once you do something like that, you will get your initial foothold as a user on that specific machine. So let me just run this real quick, and let me do it to change the port number and run a listener. And I should have received my reverse shell up here. We can do lsla up in this directory. We do see our .get directory. Let's try to check this config of it, and we were able to recover the password for a user called Cody, and this password belongs to this specific service called getir searcher.htb. Cool. So we have this. Next, let's see what we can do next with this. By the way, like, let's just log in into getir. By the way, or what we can do is ignore that. We can use this password, and let's see whether this password will work with sudo for our current user, which is svc. Let me just copy the password if I can. I can't copy the password. Wow. Copy selection. Now let's do sudo -l. We get an error, so let's upgrade our shell. Python 3 -c import pty.spawn. By the way, like if you go and watch the live stream, like you will see I made a silly little error in the spelling, and yeah, I had ended up wasting like 5 or 10 minutes. Cool. So let's do sudo -l again. Let's enter the password which we have. We can see we can run the specific script as root user. So let's copy that sudo, and if we run it like this, we will get some kind of an error, which is fine. So let me copy that, let me paste it, and just like enter anything, and this will reveal that we can run like docker ps, docker inspect, and full checkup. So those are some commands which we can run. So let me do that, docker ps, and we can see like there are two docker containers running, which is Gettier and MySQL. MySQL seems interesting, and yeah, we will keep that in mind now. Then we have another function called docker inspect, so which we can use to inspect docker container. So if we do that, we will see this specific command requires like two arguments called format and container name. Next, what we will do is we will basically Google. Let me pull that up real. So what we're gonna do is we can do like docker inspect, something like this, and then if we scroll down, the first thing which we are going to see is like format out. So, and we can read the description of it, which will say format output using a custom template. JSON print the JSON format, template prints the output using the give and go template. So let's click on it, and let's see how we can specify format. So we can see like if we want to get the instance IP address, we can use a format like this. If we want to get an instance log, we can do a format like this. But we want to get the config now, so we are going to do something like this. So I will copy the command again, paste it here. Next, I will copy this, paste it here. Then MySQL DB, and we were basically able to dump the password hash for the specific database. We are able to retrieve the MySQL root password, MySQL user Gettier, and MySQL password for this specific like Gettier user. Next, what we will do is we will try to log in into this database, but for that we need to get the instance IP. So I will again copy this command again, Control C, Control V. Then I will copy this, copy the whole thing, paste it here, and MySQL might be MySQL DB. We are able to retrieve the IP address, so we will do MySQL you get here and specify the host IP. Next, we will copy the MySQL password, Oh no. Copy it, paste it, specify the password flag, and then let me hit enter. We can do show databases. Then we will use the Getia database. Then I will do show tables, and then I can print everything from tables. Oh, sorry. Then we can print from our users table. Select everything from user. And we were able to retrieve the password hash for the administrator of Getia service. Unfortunately, we were not able to crack it, but we can use password reuse. We can basically use this specific password and log in into Getia as administrator. And once we log in into administrator account, we will see this specific repository. And this is the Python code which we can run as a root user. Over here we will specify we can identify a vulnerability. Basically, like, it's specifying different paths, and we can technically take over like any one of them, but this one is going to be the easiest one. Whenever we are going to run this specific script as a root user, it will look out for full checkup.sh in the current or the working directory where we are going to run this specific command. So we can create our own malicious file which would set UID bit on any like bash or any file, and we can basically get root. So let me just show you the payload. Let me just copy that very quickly. Yeah, this is going to be our payload. Let me just change exit out of it, cd up here. This is my payload. I will do chmod plus x full checkup.sh. Next I can read it out. Check full checkup.sh. This is our code. Next we can run it simply by this command. Let me just copy this, paste it here, and do full checkup, and it was successful, by the way. Next I will go to temp directory, and I have bash up here, then do bash -p, and yeah, kaboom, we are root now. So this is it for like today's video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. By the way, the whole thing was part of our OSCP preparation playlist. I will be live streaming every weekend from 7:30 p.m. So yeah, like, feel free to join in. Thank you for watching it, and yeah, I hope you have an amazing